François Czapek, born Francois Czapek on April 2, 1811, in the Bohemian town of Semenice, began his journey far from the elegance of Geneva or Paris. As a boy, he moved to Strelen, where he apprenticed under master watchmakers, learning a craft that would one day bring him renown. After settling at Warsaw, political turmoil altered his path. After the failed November uprising of 1830, Czapek, like many Polish revolutionaries, fled to safety. At 21, he arrived in Geneva, a penniless refugee, but determined. There he opened a modest workshop and began building a name through skill and perseverance. In 1839, with Anthony Patek and Thomas Moreau, he co-founded Patek, Czapek and Company. Though successful, the partnership was not renewed in 1845. That year, history was made. Czapek launched Czapek and Company with Polish nobleman Jules Gruszewski. He embraced bespoke craftsmanship, creating timepieces that helped foster Geneva's prestige in haute horlogerie. By the 1850s, the firm expanded into Paris, opening the first ever watch boutique on Place Vendôme. Thanks to Gruszewski's ties with Prince Napoleon Charron, Czapek's work reached imperial hands and aristocratic salons. Gruszewski's death in 1865 marked the end of an era. Czapek retired quietly to Bohemia, leaving behind a legacy written in time. In 2013, 3 entrepreneurs, each from different backgrounds, met in a Swiss backyard and shared a bold vision to revive Czapek, honoring its heritage while charting a new course.
How are you guys?
It's a Netflix documentary,
only,
right?
Only
So
one
it's-
eye, only one eye. And rolling rights.
So, what feedback did we get from this watch? What I wanted to highlight is there are really 2-3 things that are very interesting in that configuration.
Just after we met with Harry and Sebastian, and we agreed on doing something, actually relaunched Czapek, the next steps was to deeply analyze what was Czapek. So I said what because it's a brand we are talking about. It's not only a man, it's not only watches, it's a combination of all these elements. A brand is a living entity. So we had to go step by step, looking at all the models, looking at all the facts we got, looking at rebuilding the story and understanding behind the story what was the direction. In the beginning, it was really about belief over certainty, because the certainty was telling us it's going to fail. So it's only with the belief that it did work.
In 2015, before the launch, when Xavier asked me to join the adventure, I have to say that I didn't know what was in his mind. And when I discovered that the goal, the expectation was so big, I was like, wow, this man is crazy. But I had so many things to do on my own that I didn't have time to think about it every night. I did it to work and to work hard. We were like in the team 4-5 people. This is true that we definitely start from nothing.
Before the launch was like, une marche forcée, false march in the mountains before the snow cuts the pass. The Julia pass, you know, you have to go for it. Pushing till get it ready.
Hi, welcome to Le Locle. We are now going to visit Donzé Cadran, one of the best dial maker in the world, and their expertise in enamel dial. So follow me and we are going to discover all that.
In order to design the first models that we wanted to launch, we had to find partners. And the We Collect Rare people made a first little step there because we had no money. So we needed to find some very cool people who would agree on going a little bit on that adventure together with us.
For me, Czapek was a very nice meeting between people first, because people is always the most important, but also with the nice, authentic horology from the past, with craftsmanship, with very nice technique, nice decoration, finishing of the movement. And it is exactly what we like also to develop and to do.
Voilà, pour Czapek, nous avons réalisé en fait les aiguilles fleurs de lys, qui était vraiment un challenge technique pour nous en fait. On a eu beaucoup de difficultés pour réaliser ces pièces. Nous avons dû rapprendre bien sûr à fabriquer ces pièces du fait que cette technologie a été oubliée en fait pendant plusieurs dizaines d'années.
So the quest for perfection is insane. You know, you have to do all the time something perfect. And you've seen these people; they were really passionate about their work, and we're very happy to work with them. We have the chance to have the best suppliers working for us, and with us, I would say more, because they're really part of the team. The difficulty was if François Czapek was alive and had seen the evolution of watchmaking for 150 years, what would he think now? What would he like to design now? And this is the job that we have done, asking ourselves, what François would think about that. And at the same time, you need to be respectful of the past, respectful of the history, but you have to think and look at the future. And that's always this game, when you try to find a fine balance. And I think we achieved that after a year of work, and we achieved to make a beautiful watch, I think. So the market will tell us. It's all wrong. My state of mind, we are on October 22nd. It's been exactly 2 years that we have started the project. And we're going to launch in November 10, which is approximately 19 days from now. Honestly, it's incredible because on one side, you see the beauty that is coming out. You see the fantastic job that everybody is doing. And you've been testifying that today, by the way people were treating you. I mean, we are nobody. We're a very small brand. But you see how much people are passionate about the project. And on the other side, you realize how fragile is our startup and our business. Everything needs to be a show on November 10, and not everything is ready. So I don't know in what state I will be tomorrow. Pas mal. Très bien. Ça va?
When we launched the brands, we invited people, journalists, passionate at La Petinière in Geneva. And we didn't know how many we will be. It was, it was like exciting to invite people for our relaunch of a brand. They didn't know it. We didn't know how would be the welcome of the press, of the guests.
I had a short but good night. And guess what? We did it all. So we are going live right now.
It was not about reviving a brand, because that would have been a mere professional exercise. It was about reviving a spirit. Czapek is the only horology company to have used crowdfunding equity to be relaunched. Crowdfunding equity has nothing to do with classic crowdfunding, the one that everybody knows and that is well performed by Kickstarter. In crowdfunding equity, you actually look for shareholders and you invite them to invest in your company.
So Czapek first came onto my radar right at the beginning. In fact, I remember hearing the announcement that they were going to be crowdfunding for this exciting new brand. Most of us had never even heard of the name Czapek, so that was a discovery as well. And I think it was one of the first times that had been done in the watch industry.
I had never seen a crowdfunding approach like this applied to a brand at this price point. I felt a very unusual and potentially, I thought, dangerous approach for a brand that was going to sell at a high price point. It seemed odd to me. But again, in the fullness of time, you understand that these were all a part of the brand's personality, the brand's pluckiness. And now I look back and think that's cool.
Well, I find the approach very innovative. Yeah, not only was it original, but I found it also very inclusive. It was about sharing the story, and again, that sets it apart.
I found the crowdfunding approach surprising in the beginning, risky maybe. I mean, nobody knew how it was going to pan out. No one knew, but that's what's so exciting about Czapek. I think that this daring nature to just have a go, why not?
Join us and become the co-owner of Czapek & Company. Anyone can buy a watch, but can you buy a brand?
The first watch I saw, obviously the Kiddeberg, impressed me in a couple of ways. Having been in the industry for many years, I literally have a phobia towards watchmakers that use dead people's names. If they're not alive, I don't like it. However, the only rule is, if there is a name on the watch, if that person walked into the store and saw that watch, would they recognize that that was their watch? And what struck me was how perfectly they captured the true beauty and the essence and the originality of the original Kiddeberg. And there's no doubt if you took the name off the dial, you would know exactly whose watch that was. It was a Czapek, and they perfectly captured the essence.
So the first time I saw the Kiddeberg, which is one of the first, well, it was the first model that they released, it was just beautiful. It was elegant, pure design. You know, it hinted back to the past, but was still contemporary in a sense. So it was like the perfect watch, I think, to launch the brand.
I'm casting my mind back to the first years of Czapek, and I think the industry mood was probably the same as mine in the sense that there was this brand that was launching itself into a very competitive field, and I think that there was a sense of excitement about what would come, but I don't think at that point we had any idea what sort of a monster was brewing.
It's, you know, it's a strange sensation. At the same time, you feel the relief of having delivered and achieved what you want to achieve. And suddenly you realize that you just reached base camp.
We were just sharing Czapek with whoever wanted to join the journey. The difficulty was to keep, the level of communication. We had to be very active at every level to keep the interest months after months. And then the following step was events. And the first big event after the crowdfunding events was Baselworld. And that was the moment we would be moving from being a startup looking for founding to a startup starting to sell its product. And we went there with the idea that we were going to sell 5 watches to 15 retailers. And we sold 1 watch to 1 retailer for himself.
Alors le prix du public est attribué à, j'espère que je prononce de manière juste, à Czapek pour le modèle 33 bis Kiddeberg. Bravo!
So Czapek won the 2016 public prize at the GPHG Watchmaking's Oscars, and that was just a moment of celebration for their team, but also for the industry at large to recognize that a new brand could come in and impress the collectors and media and the very selective demographic that the GPHG catered to at the time.
The future is challenging, it's as a much brilliant man that me said, it's not in the triumph, it's in the struggle.
Yeah, I think like for everybody was total surprise. First time, first product, first model coming out on the market, and suddenly they won the prize. So we were extremely surprised, extremely happy for the brand. We thought it was a good start for the coming years.
Merci pour ce merveilleux cadeau d'anniversaire.
Czapek started to build out their collection in 2016, 2017, 2018. And, they started with this very classic dress watch aesthetic, and then they kind of evolved. They brought in complications. There was a high beat chronograph, 5 Hertz, which is really impressive because most brands are still operating with a 4 Hertz chronograph. And to have a high beat option is really compelling, I think, from an intellectual standpoint. And it showed that they understood collectors as a whole and what they might be interested in. And to develop that movement with their partners and friends was kind of a statement of intent that, we're not going away, and this is the level of quality and innovation and watchmaking that we aspire to and that we're going to execute on. And the tourbillon, of course, Place Vendôme, again, a statement of intent that showed their commitment to high-level Swiss-made watchmaking.
Bespoke and customization, personalization was in the DNA of the brand since the very beginning. François Czapek was making watches, pocket watches for aristocrats in Europe. Every piece was a unique piece.
Very few brands today truly offer a bespoke approach to watchmaking. And what I loved about Xavier immediately was, if we have an idea, he's open to it. It's not always their way is the only way. It is a collaboration, a true partnership. And in fact, the first watch that we started out with them was the chronograph. And when I first saw them, there were 3 different color dial options. But in my eye, I saw a blue panda. That was the one I wanted. And that kind of set the groundwork for working with Xavier. And you see that with every aspect of what they do. Always creating, always looking for new ideas, and always collaborating, which is huge.
Tu peux filmer bien. Il filme bien sûr ce con. We are just preparing the store for being a store open now for the customers and especially for the event tonight.
I still remember one of our shareholders flying from Florida to Geneva just to help me, building a thing because we had the boutique opening. He came here just to help. And, in that sense, we are very lucky to have a community like this who are not just interested in watches, but they are very much interested in the people behind. And I think that's crucial.
The opening of the shop in the boutique in Geneva in 2019 was really important for us. In pre-COVID era, it was not that much envisageable to sell without people trying a product that costs more than 15K or 20K. So it was a great milestone.
I'm my generation. For me, I want to touch, I want to look, and I want to look the real object. And honestly, great for the guys who can just look at a picture or look at something. But for instance, the cadran, sorry for my French, of Czapek, if you got the proper light, it's magic.
The big success for this year is to have managed to achieve 2 million sales.
it's an incredible number when you think about it. Most of the people are telling me, wow, what a journey you've done. And I still feel I'm very far from the top of the mountain that we're going to.
It has spread far and fast, turning cities into ghost towns.
Countries across Europe are weighing nationwide lockdowns once again as infection rates hit new records.
Tough new restrictions have come into force in France. No one can now leave home without a government form.
Hello, my name is Xavier Roquemorel. I'm working in Neuchâtel, I'm working in watchmaking, and I'm going to show you how Switzerland flattened the curves and at the same time keep the economy going.
Nobody. Okay, so I was just at AB Product and AB Concepts. They just gave me a few components, the last one that we miss, to finish the new watch. And as you can see around, there is not many people working, but that's the way to continue to work. This is the way Switzerland is doing.
A little thing happened worldwide called the COVID. And suddenly that changed the whole plans. It was like, what's going on? A pandemic? A lockdown? Hell, how are we going to do?
The ramping up of the new movement is really challenging. It's really a bit like giving birth. You have good days and you have days that are really difficult. And this is what we're living through. And this also is a moment of, expectation. Will people understand our approach?
I realized at one point that there was something not answered in the market. It was all about the design of the watch. And the movement was not so important. And then I thought, okay, why don't we make a sport watch that is even nicer on the movement side? And that was the creation of the Caliber 5. We made it for us, for the friends, for the people who were around. Some shareholders were asking like, I would like to have a sport watch for every day. It's sort of a daily banger. Can you make it?
We were honestly betting. It was gambling on a digital-only launch during COVID.
What do? Do we continue or do we stop? The answer of one of that board member, and I will remember it all my life, was fortune favors the brave. Go for it.
The launch of the Antarctique was unexpected, and it changed everything for Czapek and for myself as well.
When they launched the Antarctique, I think it was the late COVID period, they have been developing that watch throughout the COVID period, which was absolutely brilliant that they did it. It was also riskful, of course, and the Antarctique took off spectacularly.
I remember when the Antarctique was first announced, and it was a bold move, a steel sports watch at a time where everyone was going in that direction. How do you make it different? It's a simple watch, stainless steel bracelet, dial, 2 hands, but sometimes to make something simple, beautiful is actually the most challenging of all. And Czapek just nailed it.
Oh, the success of the Antarctique is easy to explain. To me, it sort of took that benchmark and that stereotype of a watch and elevated it in just about every way, from the bracelet to the case, to the finishing, to the dial.
It's really recognizable now, and that is the most difficult thing to do for a brand. The watch is recognizable. You can just see someone wearing a Czapek. Oh, that's a Czapek. And I think that is one of the most difficult things to do as a brand. And I'm really intrigued by that.
The Antarctic revolutionized the business. We announced that watch in early 2020, just as the pandemic came in, and all of a sudden, there was a torrent of people who wanted the watch. The Terra de Lis that we did was only 100 pieces, and it just sold out immediately. I wish I'd bought one of those watches, but I never did.
So last month was punctuated with problems and problem solving, which is the nicest part of the problems. A key element is to recognize
mistakes, your own mistakes that have happened. It doesn't matter who made them, we need to understand them, recognize them, because we will correct them faster. The fastest we are at identifying the problem and the cause, the faster we are at solving it.
So the first collection, the Terra Deli, sold out in less than 40 days. 19 days? 26 days? I can't remember. Anyway, so short. And then the next editions really sold out very fast. So we had a moment of thinking, you know, what's happening? What's going on? We had the March Mania coming out in March 2021, and we won. And then we had the Fratello edition that was sold out in a few minutes. And it was all going on like this.
Welcome to everyone in Geneva. We are in the Geneva Watch Days, and the Geneva Watch Days is a moment where you meet and you greet and you share a good time. And so Jean-François was passing by saying hello. I said, okay, stop. We're going to have a video on the rattrapante. And you know how much this is important for us to have this vision of partnership. So I was asking Jean-François on the spot on what was, you know, one of the main challenge of the movement. And I know that this balance has been tough, but then can you go one step further, which is what was the trick to find the balance?
The trick, there is no trick. There is work, lot of work.
During 2021, we launched the Rattrapante, which was sold out in 58 minutes. And I went to Dubai Watch Week, and in Dubai Watch Week, there was an incredible interest for Czapek. We realized we had sold out a watch without launching it. And then month by month, we had more and more orders coming. I had my accident, so I couldn't really realize what was happening.
During those years of success, we also faced issues. The major one was, without doubt, Xavier's accident. I very well remember the day when we were supposed to be back from the Christmas holidays. I'm 3 months, less than 3 months before my D-date at Watches and Wonders to launch a new watch, new collections. And we received this WhatsApp from Xavier saying that he had this accident, and we got really scared.
In the middle of that massive success, I suddenly had my accident. Literally passing away during the night of the operation and being restarted, reset by the doctors after having a prosthesis of aorta, being sued directly from the heart to the rest of the aorta. Apparently, what I've had was really bad.
My most memorable story with Czapek is with Xavier, because I caught up with him just shortly after he had died. He actually, for a period of time, was no longer with us on this earth. And I caught him in a particularly pensive moment, an emotional moment, and he said, "This is my second chance at life, and I've come back with a vengeance to drive this brand." And I thought, you were already so much. What is more going to look like?
Who would have spoken of Czapek saying that 6 years after starting in the humble floor 2.2 of Basel World, we would be in Watches and Wonders in 2022, you know?
There's many moments when I felt proud during this journey at Czapek, but probably the most important one is really when we started Watches and Wonders in the year of Xavier's accident. And I told myself, okay, we managed to go through these difficulties and do an incredible fair. The products were super well welcomed. Xavier was back in the team, although it was only there for a few times, and he congratulated with the team, and we're like, okay, we did our best and we did a great job.
The key messages for Czapek, what can I say? Please don't come to the booth, don't order watches, this is way too many. The world has become crazy, and we've run from pandemic to suddenly craze for buying watches.
Czapek had a problem that every brand wished they had. There was so much demand and interest in the Antarctique that they decided to close their order books.
We were not ready and expecting so many orders when we launched the Passage de Drake. Of course, it's overwhelming. It's great. You feeling like you kind of flying, and you feel great. It's fantastic to see such a success, but also it's not easy to say no to a customer, especially when you work at Czapek. The first thing you want to see is a smile on a customer's face. You want to make them happy.
We were victims of our own success with the Antarctic. All of a sudden, here we are making, I think at the time it was maybe 500 watches a year, and we had order books for 2,000 or 3,000 watches. And we did come to a very difficult decision to close the order books because it wasn't fair to the people who had ordered the watch that we were taking more orders for it while we weren't delivering theirs. Yeah, it was a terrible problem to have, but at the same time, it was a wonderful problem to have.
You can't have it both ways. You can't be a community-first brand and only talk about the good things and only show the good things. So I think at times when there's been difficulties, the fact that Xavier has worn this somewhat openly has been something that the community has respected. It's felt kind of cool that you're seeing the CEO respond in a really honest way.
To not just say, right, we're selling this model really well, but also here are some issues behind the scenes. It first off has that insider community approach, but also a certain level of confidence that these problems are problems that are going to be solved. They're problems that are being taken seriously. They are problems that have answers.
Somehow, why we are closing the books, it's for the people. It's for the persons that have ordered the watch and are waiting for the watch. And we know the wait will be long. Maybe 2 years, maybe more. But what I want to say to each of these watch lovers is that they are at the center of our everyday life. We think about each of them because every of our watches is made by one watchmaker. And behind the watchmaker is a client. It's always one watch, one watchmaker, one watch lover. That's the way we work. Stupid system. Donc, on la met là ou là-bas? Ici. Ok.
Oui, sur la ligne.
D'accord. A bright future sometimes comes with a humble start. So you see that place? Well, there is a lot of work still to be done, but that's the future of Czapek. We'll take all this tube away, and here inside that square, there will be hosted our first CNC machine. And this is the future. Why? Because it's going to help us be capable to cope with the demand, be capable to address special needs, be capable to go much faster in prototyping. That's also a move toward autonomy. This is going to help us get to the next level.
Dans un premier temps, quand on a déménagé, ça nous a permis d'augmenter la production avec plus d'horlogers. On a construit cette partie-là. On s'est renforcé aussi sur le contrôle qualité et le stockage. Ensuite, on a dû se mettre en place pour être plus dynamique, plus libre sur la partie de production des composants en eux-mêmes. Donc c'est à ce moment-là qu'on a fait rentrer l'usinage, d'abord dans la partie habillage, boîte, donc usinage de boîte, assemblage, polissage, vraiment toute la ligne complète. Et on a internalisé aussi le développement maintenant des mouvements à 100% en interne, donc prototype et création des composants du mouvement.
So freedom is so much part of our identity that I don't really find the words to explain how important it is. It's fundamental. every decision we make is based on the idea that it should increase our freedom. And that's, for example, the decision to have a manufacturer with the machinery capable to produce a watch from A to Z. But this one means every day we can create even more crazy watches. So now that we have survived from the pandemic, thanks to the Antarctic, now that we have created Antarctic models in different sizes with different dials, explaining that it's a whole story that is ongoing, now that we have consolidated the company and make it capable to handle this different type of demand that goes with the Antarctic, and now we're looking for new complications or new expressions of existing complications that we will release in 24 and 25. So we are on Friday, February 23rd, inside the manufacturer Czapek, inside the room of the atelier of watchmaking, and I'm here to start the year of the launches with our latest born, the Mont Erebus.
Watches are emotions for me, watches are memories. And everywhere I go, we create memories every day, everywhere you go. And for me, I've been wearing this one. Like, let me put it this way. In 2025, this is the watch I've worn the absolute most. And I swap watches nearly every day, right? I've access to every watch you can dream of. This is the watch I have on my wrist for the last 3 months straight. That has not happened before.
Pour moi, le modèle que je préfère aujourd'hui, c'est ce tourbillon, Antarctique tourbillon. C'est d'une certaine manière la première pièce qu'on a produit, réalisée de A à Z avec la nouvelle équipe de la manufacture.
Now this year, for the tourbillon, we upped our game. The idea was to produce ourselves most of the components. So we had the bibliothèque, we had the cairn, and we purchased and invested into décolleteurs to make the pinions, the screws, the pins, all the small components, even though it's a long machine. And here you have the electro-erosion. This machine cuts the bridges, cuts all parts that are complex. And after that, we check them on this bench of control with 3D, 2D, one-dimension metrology.
I had a shock when at the manufacture I was introduced to the guys who were imagining the tourbillon, and I realized that Czapek will have an in-house tourbillon conceived by the teams, and for me that was a complete game changer, in the sense that we were really going in the category, in the top quartile for certain of the industry or better. These products have sold.
Every brand will face challenges as they evolve, and when you go from step one, and we were of course their first retailer in America, and I think one of the first two in the world, and we remember the days when they were making fewer than 100 watches a year. So for any brand to step into a whole different realm and improve their visibility, which is the most important thing for a brand, you have to increase production. How you do that changes the way you run a business, and that's the biggest challenge possible. But what's incredible is how Czapek, under Xavier's stewardship, managed to navigate through these issues, recognize the problems as they arose with the supply chains, which every brand faced through COVID, and found solutions to the problems to ultimately deliver a product that was uncompromising from the design to the execution and the integrity of every component, even down to the micro adjustment on the buckle, which obviously came a little bit later, but they're always looking to evolve and improve the product. And to me, that's vital, knowing that we are working with a partner that is always looking to be the best in the industry.
Would I consider Czapek a mainstay? Well, if 1 year on the internet is 10 years in real life, and if 1 year in the watch industry is, I would say, 20 years in the real world. So I think in their 10 years, it's a brand that you can't imagine not being around. The watches have classic overtones and contemporary undertones, and then sometimes like this new Retropont RUR, it's contemporary overtones with classic undertones. So they've really rounded out their collection. They can do it all. They can do watches that look extraordinarily artistic and beautiful, and they do watches that can be just really exemplifying the classic codes of watchmaking. So it's impossible to imagine a world without Czapek. It's impossible to imagine the industry without Xavier. So don't make me even think about it.
Yeah, Czapek is here to stay. Come on. They've been here 10 years, strength after strength, GPHG awards and nominations, successful sellouts of limited editions, collaborations with different media partners. And Czapek is a cornerstone of the independent watchmaking landscape. And they've done it in a friendly, thoughtful, approachable way that doesn't feel intimidating to a new collector.
For me, the future of Czapek it's a surprise. We don't know. We don't know where they're going to go, and that's what makes it so wonderful. I think this risk-taking, this boldness, this who knows what's going to happen next. I mean, I was just at their fair at Geneva Watch Days, and they have a robot talking to people in the room, and somehow I'm not surprised, because that's just what Czapek is about.
We all need to be very honest towards each other. We don't need watches in our lives, right? We don't need it. And if you want to tell the time, you can use your phone. It's not about the watch. It's about how the watch makes you feel. And for me, wearing a Czapek, I feel confident. Czapek is for me one of the front runners in the independent space, and I think they're going to continue to lead that. There's not a brand that makes more of an impact for me personally than Czapek today. And go on the same route and trust your own vision, and the sky is the limit from there, to be honest.
When you reach the summit of that mountain that you were climbing, you have a lot of emotion that comes to you. Sometimes you just blank, you're just like, disbelief, did I really reach that, or is there more to climb? And then, very quickly, after happiness, the question is, what's next? You don't really realize, you really think, did I achieve that? Is it possible that over the course of 10 years, Czapek has gone from nothing to this? And what should be the next step if I want to make it so nice that it's a continuous adventure? And that's the next mountain, but we have to choose it wisely. And here comes the team, the family, the collectivity. So it's not my plan, it's the plan of everyone, or it's the collection of dreams of everyone that finally makes, okay, that's a possible direction. And the reasoning is not so much into, is it sound economically? No. Do we have the passion for doing it? Yes. That's really the way we choose. And that's what inspires us.
As a shareholder, I think that we all feel that we all participate to the elaboration of each models, because during our shareholders meeting, you have a lot of interaction between the team of Czapek. Our opinions seems to be always taken into consideration, and that's a very, very powerful and very positive feeling that we have when we are shareholders of Czapek.
The Lanique. It's a very important watch for me, because when this piece was introduced, or is actually the first plan from Collective, which was the Collectors Club, which asked to do this special edition with us. And when they explained they wanted to have like a watch with which is like the waves in Lanique Beach on Hawaii, where you see the sand below the water, I was like, yeah, right, how are we supposed to do a watch like that? And I kind of forgot about it. And Xavier was, as usually, relentless and worked with several different suppliers and finally managed to bring this to life. And he showed me this, I almost cried. I couldn't believe how well executed the brief was. So for this moment was for me as well, like, never give up, and everything is possible if you really follow through.
When you buy a Czapek timepiece, you don't just buy a watch. You get a whole family and a set of friends that go with it. And I think that's really the key to Czapek. So their tagline is, "We collect rare people." And at first I remember when I heard it, I thought, that's a strange tagline. But when you think about it, it's exactly that.
We collect rare people. It was just exactly what we were trying to express. The fact that people do not just collect Czapek watches. We do the other way around, actually. We collect rare people. We collect people in many ways. The team members, the collectors, the retail partners, manufacturing partners, shareholders, obviously. So we create a community. It was ideal to express our values and our philosophy.
So how well do I get along with the Czapek team? I would say family, really. I do know most of the team personally. I know if they're married, I know how many kids they have. I mean, we're not just co-workers. We're really a family.
We are always connected. We are getting along super well. We are having fun. So I would say it's just a great team. It's just a fun. I love my colleagues, to be very honest.
This is true that we have to make some sacrifices. I think that there is no mystery in life. When we deeply want to reach a goal, you need to give the maximum you can give. And that's what all the Czapek team did before. And probably that is why they are doing now. So this is why we can be proud to have worked or to work for this company.
I mean, why Czapek is a good question. I think it's because the brand is so close to its customers. They don't make a lot of watches, so it's not something that's very common. You're not going to see it everywhere, which makes it a bit unique. So it makes it a conversation piece, but it also makes it something that you don't see on everybody's wrist. And if you see someone who's wearing a Czapek, you're like, oh, at least, I know what kind of person he's going to be, right? And then why would you go for something that they make $1 million of a year, right? Like, it's just not as special.
The fact of developing some kind of community around its brand and its products is a key for success. And this is really something that they've done extremely well. And they've been able to nurture that from day one, basically. It's not only the product, it's really more the philosophy.
The thanks must be given to so many people that I don't even know where to start, because it's the whole community. It's the press, first off, that decided to support us during the years, the team, Xavier, our suppliers, our collectors, of course, but also members of the industry, institutions, the family of the team members, everyone that contributed to our adventure. We have to be grateful to them. We would not be here without them.
If François Czapek was alive today, I think he would first say, let's celebrate. Because what has been accomplished in 10 years, I reckon, is unusual, is something that I would have never imagined myself. It's incredible. And thinking that I had that accident in the middle and restarted and get a new life that somehow makes me a better man, wow, that's so strange, Everything gets mixed together, personal, professional, successes and failure, they work together. It's a journey it's an invitation to look for your own freedom. Part of the success, again, is by being a startup, is by being low-key and by being open to everyone. Because then everybody feels he or she can help. There is a door open, there is an empty seat, and that's the magic that was and that is behind Czapek. This openness creates a virtuous circle
where people are invited to join, and we know our success comes as much from them, as much as from everyone, as from us. It's a shared success. It's the nicest one.